My boyfriend followed me to my hometown. Now the women there won't let him leave. If you think I'm joking, keep listening, because even the police never found his body. My name's Nora Hill. I grew up in a small valley somewhere in the south, the kind of place Google Maps refuses to load. Fog all year, no cell signal. People say it's peaceful, but peace feels a lot like something holding its breath. When I was little, my grandma told me that the fog protected us, that it kept outsiders away. I used to believe her until I realized it also kept us in. I left the valley for college 3 years ago. No one ever really leaves, but I tried. I thought I'd escaped the smell of wet soil, the way people stared whenever a man visited. Then my mom started calling again. Same message every time. Bring someone home, Nora, please. The family owes the village. At first, I thought she meant money, but she didn't. And when she said the family owes, she meant my brother. He was the only son left in our bloodline, and he was dying. When my mom said they needed a man, I laughed. I said, "What? Like a date?" She didn't laugh. She just said, "A man, Nora, any man." Her voice cracked on that last word, like it wasn't a request anymore. So I started looking. That's when I met Jason Cole. Jason was everything the internet loves. Sharp jawline, varsity jacket, the kind of guy who smiles and makes you forget to breathe. He was a minor influencer at school, posting gym clips and motivational crap like, "Don't chase people, chase your goals." Ironically, he chased me. At first, I thought it was cute. Then it got weird. One night, after a party, he told me he liked me. Everyone heard, and by morning, the rumors started. People said I was desperate, sleeping around, that I tricked him into dating me. Someone even posted my photos on a gossip page. When I confronted Jason, he just laughed and said, "Relax, it's college, people talk." A week later, he texted, "Let's talk in person. I want to make things right." We met at a coffee shop downtown. He was sweet, apologetic. He said he wanted to start over. I believed him. I shouldn't have. I remember the taste of the drink he handed me. It was bitter. The world started to tilt. The last thing I remember was him carrying me out, saying something like, "Don't worry, babe. I got you." When I woke up, I was in a hotel bed, naked, and he was on the phone laughing. Yeah, man, she totally fell for it. What high and mighty act. She's just another girl. I'll pass her to you guys next week. He didn't know I was awake, or that I could hear every word. That night, I texted my mom, "I found someone. I'll bring him home for the holidays." The drive back home took almost 10 hours. Jason complained the whole way about the fog, the dirt roads, the way my GPS kept freezing like it didn't want us to arrive. He said, "What kind of place doesn't have a single bar of signal?" I told him, "It's not that there's no signal, it's that the valley doesn't want to be found." He laughed. I didn't. We reached the village by dusk. The fog had swallowed the road behind us, like the mountain didn't want to let us leave. At the entrance stood a single crooked tree. My mom waited beneath it. Hair long, dress black, smiling like she'd known exactly when we'd arrive. "You must be Jason," she said. "You look even stronger than in the pictures." Jason chuckled nervously, shaking her hand like he'd just met the mayor of Weird. Inside the house, the air was thick, a mix of herbs, smoke, and something metallic. My brother, Eli, was in bed. He barely moved. Pale skin, sunken eyes, like the life had already leaked out of him. Jason whispered, "Jesus, what happened to him?" I said, "The valley doesn't like men." He thought I was joking again. He always thought I was joking. That night, Mom cooked a welcome dinner. Every dish looked wrong. Too red, too raw. The soup shimmered black under candlelight. "This is our family recipe," Mom said. "It restores vitality." Jason grinned. "Awesome! I'm starving." He took a sip, winced, then smiled politely. Mom's eyes gleamed. "Good boy." After dinner, she handed me a small clay cup filled with something darker than coffee. "Give this to him before bed," she said. "It'll help him sleep." I nodded, but when I looked into the cup, I swear I saw something move. That night, I didn't give it to him. I poured it down the sink. The water hissed like it didn't want to touch it. Jason came to bed smelling like soap and smoke. He said the villagers outside were still awake, talking, laughing, all women. "Weird place," he muttered. "Didn't see a single guy." I told him not to worry, but I could hear it too. The laughter, the rhythm of something chanting beneath it. Like the whole valley was breathing in unison. At some point, Mom left the house. I heard the front door creak open, her footsteps on the wooden porch, the sound of her humming the same lullaby she used to sing to me as a kid. Only now it sounded like a prayer. I waited. An hour passed. Then another. The chanting outside stopped. The house went silent. I got up and opened the door to my brother's old room. The bed was empty, the window open, and outside, under the tree, Mom was standing there, her nightgown stained dark, Jason beside her, shirtless, dazed. She turned, meeting my eyes. "He's strong," she said softly. "The valley will like him." I didn't ask what that meant, because deep down, I already knew. The next morning, Jason acted like nothing happened. He said he had a weird dream, that he'd been standing in the fog with my mom whispering something in his ear. When he asked what it meant, I told him not to worry, because I didn't know how to tell him the truth, that here, dreams aren't dreams, they're invitations. That afternoon, Mom suggested taking him for a walk. We went to the hot springs behind the hill, a place the villagers called the Mother's Bath. The steam rose thick and heavy, smelling like iron and flowers. Jason laughed. "This is actually beautiful." He didn't see the women watching him, their reflections glinting in the mist, faces half hidden, smiling too wide. He took off his shirt and stepped into the water. The surface rippled red for just a second. I told myself it was the sunset. I knew it wasn't. When he looked back at me, I forced a smile and said, "You look perfect." He smiled back, the same smile he gave me before everything went wrong. That night, the entire village gathered. Dozens of women, all in pale dresses, hair braided with black ribbons, eyes fixed on him. They called it a feast. But no one ate. They just stood around Jason, touching his arms, whispering things I couldn't hear. He shifted uncomfortably, trying to joke. This is some welcome party, huh? No one laughed. Mom stepped forward. Daughters of the Valley, she said. The time has come. The crowd began to hum, low at first, then louder. A rhythm that vibrated in my ribs. Jason looked at me, eyes wide. Nora, what is this? I said softly. You'll be fine. It'll be quick. He tried to move. 2 women grabbed his arms. Nora, stop them! What the hell are you doing? He screamed my name again and again until it didn't sound like a name anymore. Just noise against the chanting. Mom handed me a bowl. Inside, a black liquid swirled, thick as tar. He must drink it, she said. The binding draft. Once he drinks, the Valley will accept him. Jason shook his head, struggling. I stepped closer, holding the bowl out. He spat in my face. You're insane. You're all insane. Mom nodded at 2 women. They forced his mouth open. The liquid spilled between his teeth, down his throat, staining his skin like ink. He coughed, choking, then silence. When the chanting stopped, he was breathing, barely. Mom smiled. It's done. He's one of us now. I looked at Jason, his eyes unfocused, his body limp, but alive. The crowd began to disperse, their faces glowing in candlelight, like they'd just witnessed a miracle. I stayed behind. Mom touched my shoulder. You did well, my daughter. I wanted to tell her she was wrong, that this wasn't what I wanted, but my voice wouldn't come out. Later that night, I went to Jason's room. He was awake, tied to the bedposts, shaking, eyes wet with fury. You drugged me, he said. You let them. I cut him off. You remember what you did to me, Jason? You think this is worse? He looked terrified. You're not like them, Nora. You're better. I smiled. That's what you said before. I leaned in close, whispering, you said I was just another girl, so be one of us now. He stopped fighting. For the first time, he looked small, human. I left him there, under the same roof where my brother was dying, and I realized maybe the Valley never wanted to kill its men. Maybe it just wanted to make them understand. The Valley was quiet for days after the ritual. Too quiet. Jason stayed locked in the room, his voice hoarse from screaming. Mom said the silence meant the mother was pleased. I didn't know if she meant God or the fog. In this place, they're the same thing. I asked Mom why the Valley needed this, why we had to bring men here, why every family owed a life. She didn't answer at first. She just looked at me the way she used to look at sick animals. Then she said, because, Nora, the Valley remembers what men did. 100 years ago, they tried to burn us. They said women who lived without husbands were witches. Huh? She poured tea like it was nothing. The Valley took their fire and kept it. Since then, men don't last long here. I wanted to call her crazy, but she wasn't lying. Growing up, I never saw a man over 40. They all left, or they all disappeared. I just never asked where, until Jason. One night, I went to see him again. He'd stopped shouting. He just sat there, staring at the ceiling. "You win," he said. "Do what you want." His voice was dry, cracked, but his eyes, they still looked like him. That same arrogant glint, even here. I asked, "Do you remember that night? The hotel?" He flinched. "That was a mistake. I was drunk. You drugged me. It was just what, Jason? A joke? Content? A story to tell your friends?" He said nothing. The silence was his confession. I told him, "You think we're monsters, but you made me this way. You turned me into something that doesn't cry anymore." He whispered, "You don't have to be like them." And for a second, I believed him. I wanted to, but then I remembered the laughter on his phone, the way he said my name like a joke, and I knew mercy didn't grow here. When I left the room, Mom was waiting outside. She looked proud. "He'll make the valley strong again," she said. "You've done your duty?" "I never wanted this," I told her. "What has nothing to do with it, Nora? You're a daughter of the valley. The blood remembers." She pressed something into my hand, a small carved figurine, a woman with no eyes. "Keep it close," she said. "When the fog calls, answer." That night, I couldn't sleep. I heard Jason crying through the wall. Then the crying stopped. When I went to check, he was gone. The ropes cut clean. The window open. Mom didn't wake up when I told her. She just said, "If he leaves, the valley will take him back." I ran into the woods with a flashlight. The fog swallowed the beam whole. I screamed his name, but the valley just echoed it back. Over and over, softer each time. And then I saw him, Jason, standing by the river, or what was left of him. His body was covered in the same markings, the women carved on their wrists. The fog clung to his skin like it was breathing through him. For a moment, his eyes met mine. He smiled. I get it now, he said. "It's beautiful here." Then the fog closed over him, and he was gone. They never found his body. The police said it was probably an accident, that he fell into the river and drowned. But the water here doesn't take people, it keeps them. After Jason disappeared, the village went back to normal. The women smiled again. The fog came thicker than ever. Mom said the valley was resting, that it had eaten well. She acted like it was over, like we could just move on. Sometimes I still hear him. Not his voice exactly, more like the sound of him breathing in the fog. It's soft, close, almost kind. At night, I see shapes in the mist, tall, familiar, like he's standing there, waiting. Mom doesn't talk much anymore. She spends her days at the spring, pouring water into jars, humming that same song she sang the night of the ritual. I asked her once, "Do you ever regret it?" She smiled. Regret keeps the fog alive. I didn't ask again. A month later, the valley sent its message again. The old tree at the entrance cracked open, split right down the middle. Mom said it meant another offering, that the balance had to be maintained. This time, she said it would be my turn to choose. You know the world outside, she told me. You know what they do to us. Bring one home. So I packed my bag, took the bus out of the valley. No fog, no silence, just the noise of the city again. People everywhere. Men everywhere. They looked at me, smiled, laughed. I smiled back, but I was counting which one I'd bring home next. Sometimes I wonder if I did the right thing, if Jason really deserved it, if any of them do. But then I hear my mother's voice in my head. The valley remembers, and I can't tell anymore if that voice is hers or mine. If you were me, would you have done the same? Let me know what you think in the comments. And remember, some places